We are so happy to be joined on the phone now by Adam Coleman of the Houston Chronicle. Adam, thanks for hopping on with us. I really enjoyed your piece about spring football. Those guys seem like they're playing with a chip on their shoulder, and it seems remarkable to me that they have still found a way to fly under the radar.
Absolutely, thanks for having me, Greg. Really appreciate it. Followed you on Twitter for a long time and enjoyed your work. But
don't feed his Twitter ego.
I told you, there's one person who actually follows me legitimately. The rest are just bots. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, but going off what you said, flying under the radar. I mean, it's the funny thing when I did this story. Talking to Coach Parker, he said, we had never won a district championship, and I was just kind of shocked and amazed by that. Spring high school, as we know it, has been open since '69, but they've been playing football since the '50s, and they've been around a long time. And to not win a district championship ever just kind of shocked me. And for them to finally do it, and to be the last team standing out of what we all know is a very tough 15-6A, speaks to volumes about the growth of this program. They've been through some things in that story I talked about, the 2013 stabbing at the school, and that was in the middle of football season, and Coach Parker was there, and of course the brawl with Westfield this year. So they've been through some things off the field, but this is a group that stayed together and they kind of believe in each other, and they want to fill the boots of heavyweights. They want to prove that, hey, we can do what Westfield's done. We can do what the Katy's done. We can be that team as well. And they just felt like, you know what, we just need a shot. And they've had that shot these past 2 years, and they're proving it once again this year. So they've been very impressive.
The one thing that most people have heard about spring football this year has been that ugly brawl with Westfield. Do you think that there has been some positives to come out of that for spring football, maybe pulling this team together?
Absolutely. It's funny you say that because Coach Parker told me that. He was like, listen, I mean, it was ugly, for both teams, players suspended and the coaches suspended themselves. But things like that kind of brought the team closer together. And it was just kind of a huge obstacle and a huge hurdle. They didn't have Bravion Roy, I think, for a couple games because of that brawl. And that was definitely hard to bounce back from. But when they got him back and when they got back to full strength and got the players back, they just kind of, came together and became a even more cohesive unit. And things like that, tend to bring teams closer together. I mean, sometimes teams fall apart through obstacles like that, but something like this kind of brought this team closer together. Like, listen, let's put that away, let's put that aside, and let's start winning some games. And then by end of the season, they looked up and they had a chance to win district, and for the first time. And I think that just motivated this team. Like, hey, we have a real shot to do something that's never been done before here.
We're talking with Adam Coleman, the Houston Chronicle, on DCTF Live. Follow him on Twitter at _Coleman Sports, and of course, get in touch with the show at #DCTF Live. It's been already a remarkable year for Houston high school football, and two of the teams at the forefront of that are Katy and Manville. Katy currently taking care of business against Friendswood. They're up 28-0 in the first quarter last we saw. Is there anything keeping us from a Katy and Manville game?
Absolutely not. No. And I don't say that to I don't say that to disrespect the other teams, but I think everybody's felt like those two teams are on a collision course once again this year. Katy and Manville. You know what? This is what people want to see. People want to see this game. People love to see this game. People love when they're in the same division because you can argue they are the two most visible programs out of the Houston area. Manville, the things that they've been done, they're D1 factory, they've Manville U and all that, and everybody knows Katy is Katy. But, these two teams are always on a collision course, two of the better teams in the Houston area, and just people expect them to win, and they expect to win. And it's just Katy might get pushed or Manville might get pushed, but you just know, you always have that feeling that they're going to meet again in the playoffs. And of course, when they meet again, it's a very big game for both teams, but everybody knows Katy's had the upper hand in the meetings, so it'll be an even bigger game for Manville.
Katy taking on Friendswood right now, and then later tonight at 8 o'clock, Houston Strake Jesuit and Manville will do battle. Let's just, again, not discounting Friendswood and not discounting Houston Strake Jesuit, but let's look into our crystal ball, and it's next week. It's Katy against Manville. Let's say it's at NRG Stadium, which is probably the only venue in Houston area that could do it justice. Who would you pick in that game right now?
Oh, well, right now I will pick Katy, and I'm sure if you ask anybody that question that follows the game, they would pick Katy just because they've been playing so well. They've gotten better, and they do this every year, it feels like, but they've gotten better as the season has gotten along. I mean, I think they entered the playoffs with 5 or 6 straight shutouts, and opened the first playoff game against Westside with another shutout, and got scored on against Cy Ranch, but won that one handily. And of course, right now they're taking care of business against Friendswood. But this defense has gotten better and better as the season goes along. And it's interesting when they play Manville, it's different, man. They don't care about the 4 stars and the 5 stars or the athletes. They just go handle business, and they just do what they do. Katy sticks to their guns. They do what they do, and they're very good at it. And I think when they're playing at their peak, which is in the middle of the football season and in the playoff, when they're at their peak, they are nearly unbeatable. And now that's not to discount Manville. Manville, very great team, but they've had trouble with this game in the past. So I think Manville will come into this game with a chip on their shoulder, knowing that, you know what, we got to change perception. We have to win this game. But Katy is Katy, and it's just so hard to see them lose at this point in the playoffs.
I think you're right. I would pick Katy in that game as well. A couple of other questions for you. We mentioned spring flying under the radar. Is there any other team that springs to mind for you in the Houston area that you think people are forgetting about?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, I feel like, man, Ridgepoint is kind of maybe not. They don't really fit that mold, but I'm not sure a lot of people expect their Ridgepoint to be here at this point in the regional semifinals. And it came. This is their last year in 5A. They're expected to go up to 6A next year, but them being here, it's kind of been pretty impressive, and the way they handled Crosby, I think, kind of shocked people a little bit over there in the 5A ranks. They beat Crosby, I think it was 42-14, and people were kind of surprised or taken aback by that score. But this Ridgepoint team is really good, and I believe they're playing A&M Consolidated, I believe, but and that's a very good team as well. Yeah, but Ridgepoint is a team like, you can look up and they might go a couple rounds deeper. I wouldn't be surprised to see it. They have, Mustafa Muhammad. He's tight end, getting a lot of offers, and then B.J. Rainford, one of the best running backs in the city, of course. Shane Gosson at quarterback, and a great defense. I mean, this team is coming together at the right time, and I feel like maybe not a lot of people are talking enough about them, but we'll see what they do this weekend. But they're kind of flying under the radar a little bit to me.
He is Adam Coleman of the Houston Chronicle, joining us on DCTF Live. Adam, you've been all over the Houston area. You've seen team after team after team. Who is the best player you've seen in the Houston area this year?
Oh man, it's so many great teams and so many great players. Actually, now that I talk about Crosby, I feel like Emmanuel Netherly at receiver at Crosby. He's just a junior. He'll be back next year, but I feel like I've seen him a couple times. He's kind of impressed me. I mean, he just looks the part. And if you want to go by offers, I mean, he's getting them by the bucket loads. I think there was a 3 in the middle of the season, a 3-4 day stretch where he got like maybe 5 offers or something like that for some big time schools. And I think he just committed to Texas A&M.
Yeah.
But he's looks the part. I mean, just athleticism, very great in the open field. I mean, just catches everything, very speedy, fast, and he just looks like a big-time receiver. And I just enjoy watching him. And there are a lot of other great, Ross Blacklock from Elkins. I mean, he's on the defensive line. He can take over a game. He's just been so impressive. And then, Rakeem Boyd for Stratford. He's been great. He's going to Texas A&M too. So. There are a lot of great players, but I think Netherly just sticks out to me. When you asked me that question, the first name that came up to my mind was Netherly.
He is Adam Coleman of the Houston Chronicle and other various sundry sports elements around the Houston area. He's got Houston covered like nobody else. Follow him on Twitter at _Coleman Sports, and you can't really throw a rock without finding some of his fine work out there in the Houston area.
No, looking forward to seeing him at NRG in a few weeks.
It will be fun. Adam, appreciate you hopping on with us, bud, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Hey, appreciate it, fellas. Thank you.